It was high times for Elon Musk with his chainsaw, snorting ketamine, injecting it into his veins, getting his participation trophy in the Oval Office. And now it has turned so quickly, so rapidly that Russia is offering political asylum to Musk. Put up this headline. Newsweek is reporting that Russia offers political asylum to Elon Musk over Trump feud. This is a very interesting development and goes into what we have been talking about since before the election or during the election, that you have MAGA, who is behind a personality cult that believes in really nothing other than just getting into the Oval and making sure women can't get abortions, bullying some gays, deporting some immigrants. Rich people don't pay taxes. That's their whole ethos. And then you get over to the technocrats. And they have really dark, nefarious plans like this world domination, linking up with Putin and all of these things. So it's very interesting. We've always suspected, and reporting showed that Musk had a lot of conversations with Putin prior to entering the race, prior to giving Donald Trump $300 million for his campaign. Musk was having a lot of patty cake phone calls with Putin. Interesting that Putin's the first to come offer him a lifeline.
In my opinion, no one is more aware of the nefarious acts that Donald Trump and Elon Musk committed to get Trump elected than Putin. And Trump may be able to hide behind executive privilege because of the Supreme Court, but undoubtedly, Elon Musk, based on all the court rulings, has been doing a lot of illegal shit. And his protection from that is Donald Trump. So if he makes an enemy out of Donald Trump, he is the person that would be in charge of pardoning him. So it surprises me zero that Putin would sound off in this whole thing.
You know what's interesting? When you just said, Pumps, when you said the presidential protection immunity from the Supreme Court, you know, the autopsy on all of this is going to be all of this short-sighted bullshit that people that know better acted on impulse in their decision making and didn't act on a stable decision that has longevity. They chose the sprint and not the marathon. And people in government should always choose the marathon. You know, the marathon choice that benefits the most people. When you talk about philosopher Maslow and his hierarchy of needs, the collective good, collectivism is so much better than the short-sighted impulse that all of these MAGA people, including the Roberts Court and Musk and all of these people, but I'll tell you who's been playing the marathon, Putin. All right, next up we have Musk is, this is really interesting. When I read this, I thought, oh my God, I have something in common with Elon Musk, because I always in my mind, when I'm really like fighting to have just a tinge of serenity, I always think, and I tell Pumps this all the time, we go to lunch every day together, Trump is not a spring chicken, Pumps. He is obese, which exacerbates him not exceeding life expectancy. He has a terrible diet. You know, he won't release his medical records. And then I was just shocked as shit to be strange bedfellows with Elon Musk put up this tweet. Oh, and some food for thought as they ponder this question. Trump has 3.5 years left as president, but I will be around for 40 plus years, insinuating, you know, that Trump's not a spring chicken, that he's not going to be around very long. And so it's interesting when you're in the bargaining stage of how am I going to get through this Trump shit, and then Elon Musk has the same thought.
It's kind of terrifying.
It's kind of interesting, right?
I look at this and I think this is a signal from Elon Musk to Republicans. You have to pick sides. Who are you going to pick? Trump might be president, but I have all the money. So if you want me to fund your campaign, come to me. I mean, that's the gauntlet he laid down. It's a
pretty good argument if you're into evil shit. I mean,
absolutely,
it's a pretty good argument for him to say, okay, are you going to go follow the lame duck who's 80 years old, who has dementia? Because we're going to start getting that next. Elon's going to start leaking Trump cognitive decline. You know, we're at the pedophile stage, and we're going to keep escalating, right? And so it's a pretty good argument. I mean, obviously, the counter argument to the MAGA base that Elon Musk is an illegal immigrant just really hits MAGA hard right where they live. That's like their G spot. Illegal immigrant being cruel to them. I mean, that is like the money shot. Okay, next up, Sammy Sage, our friend over at the network Betches, put up a tweet that I think is very interesting. Bigger picture. We're really watching Trump, Bannon, Miller versus Musk, Till, Vance. And then Sammy opines, who would Putin prefer? So let's talk about that, Pumps. We have Trump, Bannon, Miller, Musk, Till, Vance. And I think Putin would prefer the latter.
Okay, tell me, I have my argument. I think he would prefer the former. I mean, I get the whole SpaceX thing, but Trump is so easy to manipulate. Look what he has done through his useful idiot, Donald Trump. Donald Trump spews propaganda. Donald Trump can't even say who started the war. He won't go in and say, I'm going to back Ukraine. He's leaving NATO. Trump is the easiest mark Putin has ever done.
Trump was step one. He was the Trojan horse. Inside the horse are those other three. And so we talked about this during the campaign. Trump is marching in and he has all of these evil technocrats inside the Trojan horse. Putin is actually playing 4 and 5D chess. And he knows that if he can get in, there is an active coup. What Musk was doing in all of those government agencies was coup-ish, coup-esque, or flat out coup. I don't have all of the information, but that's what it looked like to me. And I think that getting into the federal government was step one. And now they're going to try to destroy Trump because Putin wants younger, more nefarious, less American loyalist on his side. And you've got Peter Thiel, a German. You've got, and no disrespect to Germans or South Africans, what's his face? Musk. And then you have J.D. Vance, who, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, is the biggest closet case on the planet, hates himself for it, can't defend his wife, and he's able to go out to Peter Thiel in Silicon Valley, and it's just high times for the pink mafia. They can turn Grindr off, and it's just, gay shit from top to bottom. That's my personal opinion with sociopath eyeliner makeup wearing J.D. Vance.
Okay, so take that one step further. Let's say that Musk, with all his power and money, convinces the Republicans to go ahead and start impeachment proceedings, because I think on a daily basis we see things that Trump could become impeached for. Start with, he's threatening the Starlink contract of Musk because they're mad at each other. I mean, every single day, the corruption, all that. Do you think the personality cult then gets in behind Vance? Because Vance has zero riz. And what they like about Trump is he has riz, they tell me.
Okay, no, I don't think they do, but I think that Vance is primed. They have him exactly where they want him. Vance is owned by Peter Thiel,
right,
and he is groomed for this moment, and he's younger, and Trump didn't really want Vance. I think he wanted somebody else to be his VP. I can't remember who it was. And Peter Thiel was the one that pushed Vance. And so Vance, I feel like if they get Trump impeached, Vance is going to go in with this presidential immunity. Again, short-sighted politics, the sprint, not the marathon. I think they're going to go in and fuck shit up like nobody's business, like full authoritarian tilt. Donald Trump isn't ambitious enough on a daily basis, and he's the dementia and all this shit to be like super hardcore. I mean, he likes to dick around on Twitter and Truth Social, and then they're like, hey, sign this, hey, sign that. And they're moving very quickly, but they're not doing it through, legislation. I don't know. I just have a really bad feeling about the technocrats and J.D. Vance. Really bad.
Well, no wonder. Look at what's happening with Palantir, with all of our information.
Okay. And then we have our favorite representative, Eric Swalwell, weighing in, and he says, absolutely telling that at J.D. Vance taking a walk on defending real Donald Trump against Elon. And then the next tweet. Okay, so J.D. Vance, I'm sure Pumps, under pressure from Stephen Miller, did what I feel like is the bare minimum. J.D. Vance puts up on Twitter, President Trump has done more than any person in my lifetime to earn the trust of the movement he leads. I'm proud to stand behind him. And Kylie, leave this up. Let's analyze this. He praises the cult leader. President Trump has done more than any person in my lifetime. That works. To earn the trust of the movement that he leads, I'm proud to stand beside him. This is really interesting because this is right to the cult. This is, Pumps always points out that certain things sound really cultish. What's interesting about J.D. Vance's response is it's not an outright attack on Musk.
Right.
That would be being the best soldier.
Right.
Would be to say Elon Musk has betrayed our dear leader. Donald Trump was so good to him. You know, he gave him carte blanche with all of your taxpayer money. But this was a real lackluster beta male kind of response in defense of the dear leader.
I also think the movement he leads.
It's interesting.
It doesn't say the American people. It says the movement he leads. That tells me it's a signal to people outside MAGA. This is a guy only for MAGA. Maybe I'm a guy for everybody. That's what it screams to me. The movement he leads is an interesting choice of words.
Pumps, I agree with you wholeheartedly. When I saw that this morning, I was just like, this is really interestingly worded. And I want to say this about J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance is evil, but he's not a dumbass.
No, he's smart.
He is a master gaslighter and manipulator of the highest order, and he is abundantly aware of the propaganda and the way he crafts it when he speaks to the movement that Trump leads, which makes him even more psychotic.
Right.
He knows there's no dissonance with him. He knows what he's doing is intentional lying, propagandizing, gaslighting, and manipulation. He knows it. Trump genuinely believes that he's the greatest man on the planet, could probably pass a lie detector test.
There's no question.
I mean, he looks in the mirror and he sees, hot man looking back at him. He thinks he's the smartest MFer that's ever ruled the roost. So J.D. Vance, we talked about this, and our longtime IHIP News listeners will know that we have always flagged him as a real evil fucker that is connected to the people who have the worst intentions for this country. One of them being Peter Thiel, who says on tape that democracy doesn't work because you have to beg people to try to get them to agree with you. And while he's saying this in this clip, he's like, and I don't like to make fun of people's appearances, but I mean, it is like he is greasy, oily, and just has this real evil, like, affect to him.
Yeah, he does. And he also says that only he says authoritarianism and capitalism, those two go together like hand in glove. He doesn't think women should be allowed to vote. So this is just all right up J.D. Vance's alley.
Okay, so here's what we'll do. We need to do a whole story on Peter Thiel. Maybe this would be a great little weekend watch, because he had a lover that committed suicide because of allegedly Peter Thiel was pretty abusive towards him, which would surprise no one. So maybe we just need to do a little deep dive into Peter Thiel, because I've done it in the past. He believes in this like dark enlightenment shit, and he is BFFs with J.D. Vance. I mean, I think Sammy Sage in her tweet, what we have are these three versus these three. And this is really, really interesting. I hope that the Democrats can get some Fortune 500 CEOs on board to usurp all of this and get everybody impeached. But that's just my wishful thinking. And I'm in the bargaining stage of my grief process, probably. All right. That's all we have for today. Please subscribe and buy our book, and we'll see you all later.